My name is Elena, and for most of my life, I've had to live with a mild mobility disability. It's not something dramatic or life-threatening, but it's something that affects the way I move, the speed at which I walk, and the way my body handles pain. I've always carried myself with pride, refusing to let anyone make me feel small because of it. But when the person closest to you, your husband, turns your vulnerability into a punchline, it breaks something inside you that no doctor can fix. When I met Daniel in university, he was the last person I ever expected to fall for. He was loud, witty, charming, the kind of man people naturally gravitated towards. He spoke confidently, always had a clever remark ready, always knew how to entertain a group. I, in contrast, was quiet, observant, and kept mostly to myself. I remember thinking, why me? Why is someone like him interested in someone like me, He said he admired my strength. He admired how I didn't let my disability define me. He said he loved my independence, my humor, my softness. He made me feel seen. He made me feel safe. And that was my first mistake, assuming that safety meant forever. In the early days of our relationship, he was gentle. Shockingly gentle. When I limped too much, he'd slow his steps. When my leg hurt, he'd insist I sit. When I struggled with stairs, he'd take my hand without hesitation. He made me believe he accepted all of me. But what I didn't realize was that Daniel loved the idea of being seen as the good guy. The gentle boyfriend. The caring husband. The hero who stayed with the imperfect girl and still loved her. He loved the praise. He loved the admiration. It fed his ego like fuel to a fire. After we got married, that mask slowly cracked. The first cruel comment came during a dinner party with some of his work friends. We were walking towards the restaurant, and I was slow that day. My leg had been aching since the morning. Daniel turned around and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, Lena, honestly, you're slower than my Wi-Fi when it's stormy. They laughed. Not because the joke was funny, but because Daniel delivered it. He always made people laugh, even when he wasn't funny. I felt the kind of embarrassment you can't swallow. The kind that sticks in your throat. The kind that burns behind your eyes. That night, when I tried to explain how hurtful it was, he told me I needed thicker skin. It's British humor, babe. You can't expect everyone to treat you like glass. But I didn't want to be treated like glass. I just didn't want to be treated like a joke. Over time, his comments sharpened. They became more frequent. More pointed. More humiliating. If I walked too slowly in a shopping center, he'd groan and say, here we go, the Elena Marathon. If I asked to rest on a bench, he'd say, you're 29, not 80. If I couldn't wear heels to an event, he'd sigh and say, you know, you'd look stunning in heels, but fine, train as it is. I started timing my breaths around him. I started rehearsing excuses in my head before speaking. I started shrinking myself to avoid being the target of his sarcasm. People often talk about physical abuse, but emotional abuse. It's like invisible poison. It seeps into your mind slowly, drop by drop, until one day you realize you have stopped recognizing yourself. He became obsessed with appearances. The perfect house. The perfect Instagram photos. The perfect reputation. And slowly, I realized, I wasn't a partner to him. I was a prop. An accessory he displayed when it made him look compassionate, then mocked when no one was watching. But still, I stayed. I kept giving him chances, hoping the man I fell for was still somewhere inside him. One night, everything changed. Daniel was in the shower, and his phone buzzed on the kitchen counter. Normally it was face down. Locked. Hidden. That day, maybe by mistake, he had left it face up. A message preview flashed. You're out of time. Pay what you owe. I'm done waiting. My heart skipped. Then skipped again. Then started racing. I shouldn't have looked. But after years of mockery, years of humiliation, years of feeling tiny next to the man who promised to protect me, something inside me snapped. I unlocked his phone. And the truth hit me like a storm. Daniel had been gambling. Not casually. Not occasionally. He was addicted. He had accumulated over £40,000 in debt. He had opened credit cards under fake names. He was communicating with loan sharks, actual loan sharks, men who threatened him with violence. He was attending appointments with financial advisors without telling me. His business trips were gambling binges. His late nights at the office were nights at casino websites. He wasn't the stable, composed man he pretended to be. He was drowning. But instead of asking for help, he buried himself deeper. And instead of treating me with love, he used me as a punching bag for his stress. I didn't confront him immediately. I watched. I observed. I read more messages over the next week. I gathered everything. Screenshots. Emails. Bank statements. I wasn't planning something evil. I just finally wanted to understand the truth. 2 weeks later, the universe handled the rest. We were out at brunch with friends, his favorite setting, a place where he could perform, charm, entertain, be the star. He was mid-sentence when his phone buzzed. He glanced at it. His face drained of color. Then another buzz. And another. And another. Suddenly, messages started pouring into the group chat we were all in. Screenshots of his gambling accounts. His debts. His fake profiles. His begging messages to lenders. His losses. His threats. His shame. Everyone saw it. Everyone. The confident man who mocked my disability couldn't even lift his head. His hands shook. His voice failed him. For once, no charm could save him. I watched him fall apart. Quietly. Calmly. Almost peacefully. Later, he begged me. He cried. He told me he needed me. He told me he was lost. That he had no one else. That I had to stay because I was his wife. I asked him one question. Did you ever think about how I needed you when you were humiliating me? He looked down. I told him, softly but firmly, that I was done. Done trying. Done forgiving. Done shrinking. I filed for divorce. I moved out. I started therapy. I rebuilt my confidence brick by brick. It wasn't easy. Some nights I cried. Some nights I doubted my decision. But eventually, I rediscovered parts of myself I thought I had lost. Today, I walk with my limp proudly. It is a part of me. It never made me weak. People's cruelty did. And when his secrets became public, he finally felt a taste of the pain he had caused me. He finally understood that humiliation cuts deeper than any disability ever could. To anyone listening, never let someone make you feel small because of something you didn't choose. And never forget that people who mock your weakness often hide their own behind closed doors. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you or gave you strength, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story so more people can hear it. Your support means everything. I'll see you in the next story.